So that would be the first place I would start if you're looking to actually engage with people.
But you use a dashboard called TweetDeck.
I do.
And you use the search Twitter function within TweetDeck.
In Hootsuite and TweetDeck, you can run different searches that are running the whole time, so when something pops up, you'll get an alert. And then I also use, you can subscribe to the RSS feed if you go to search.twitter, and I'll use that. I'll go there maybe once every couple of days because it's all consolidated in one place. You use the advanced search feature. If you go to search.twitter, you can do a basic search, but there's also an advanced feature where you can, use geography as a limiting factor.
And would this be true that Google Alerts is not getting me that information, right, generally?
It can, because Twitter's searchable, so you can see double hits sometimes.
But it's probably not as accurate as just listening solely.
Yeah.
I mean, so I love you, you're listening, I know you're doing your best, and you care, and that's really what people want.
I have a story, John. A friend of mine works for Wild Blue Communications. It's a satellite dish company based in the tech center, and he started up a forum for their dealers. It was meant just for company-to-dealer interaction, but the more web-savvy customers found it in pretty short order. And he told me the story the other day where he had this the one customer who was posted something on there about Wild Blue sucks. I can't believe the problems I'm having. And they took that as an action item and engaged him and fixed his problem. And now whenever a customer shows up on the forum about Wild Blue sucks, it's that guy who comes into comments and says, "Give them a chance. They took care of me."
So the reason why people leave businesses, 70+% of people will stop doing business with you, not because of the actual product or service, it's because their perception is that you don't care. That is the number one reason why people stop doing business with somebody. And if you can then demonstrate in some way, and if it can be that immediate, holy cow, that you do care, those people generally are your loudest advocates out there in the world. And so this listening, very, very, very important and actually critical in today's world, right? Both of these organizations have hundreds of thousands of people that they're listening to. Is there a smaller company that's had somebody post something where they were able to listen and make a difference?
Our largest client actually comes from they were frustrated and tweeted something about that they needed a new web developer in a specific open source tool we use, and we replied back. And though Twitter didn't close the sale for us because we were monitoring Twitter and they said looking for a nonprofit friendly UberCart developer, we got our largest project from that. So if you're monitoring and you're looking for the right things, you will be able to find it.
So maybe geo-targeting, you're listening for the types of services that you provide or the industry that you're in, and watching that on a regular basis is going to drive opportunity, huh? I'm frustrated. I love the listening for negative. That wouldn't have occurred to me, but of course, right? So fantastic.
As a part of the negative, that just got me thinking how sneaky people could then get and set up hostile get together against their competitor and set up hostile negative sites. Won't it eventually get into that?
So I want to throw this out. Yeah, that's a great comment, but it would be just like Jim's comment. People won't tolerate it. If it is based on negativity and it's just a bad thing, those people that want to live their life that way will go there. But the rest of the world will just say, what a bunch of jerks. And they will fight back. Even though they were loyal readers of this other blog, they said something and they said, that's not reasonable. Let's combat that. And so that's the wonderful thing about this is it's not marketing. It is people. And that's why it's social like this, and so it works.
One thing that I've found over getting involved with this decentralized version of marketing is that the trust and honesty that's out there way outweighs negativity like this because there's so many people that are decentralized and not so vertical that it really brings out real human nature.
Yeah.
And I found that out in the past 6 months several times and was really surprised by that. Now I'm a true believer in it.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing. You can't sway it. You can engage, and if you're good, good will come. If you're bad, Bad will come and nobody will regret it because it will be justified. But yes, it's going to be what it's going to be. It's complete transparency of a brand out there. It's fascinating. Any other things that people listen for that might be advantageous for sharing in the group?
I listen for things to blog about, to hear what businesses are talking about, what legal issues they have. So it's not directly related to the firm, but I'm saying what's an issue that I could talk about that would be relevant?
So to be a better social marketer and to have more content to put out there, and Peter, I think you talked about this last time, being more of a curator of information and being able to do that, really important. If I just have to say to people anything that's in my head, is that nearly as valuable as listening to a million people and aggregating that down and saying, here's what's going on out there in the world? Of course it's going to be a lot better. So very good point. All right, fantastic, everybody. Any other comments on this?
I use Google Reader and the RSS feeds a lot, and I think it was mentioned a little bit, but I've really found that to be a great way to filter my stuff because there's so much out there. Knowing how to use Google Reader and make categories so that I can have a category for each client and then just read those articles on a particular subject if I'm going to write about it or if I'm going to do something. So I use that as a listening tool a lot.
So Google Reader is another good one to use to aggregate, and it's blogs or it's Facebook and Twitter?
I'm picking up blogs on
Mostly
it.
blogs, right?
Blogs, because I use those other tools for Twitter and Google
Right.
Alerts and stuff, but that's just for the blogs, for the really meaty stuff.
So only the 200 million blogs that exist in the world, right?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
And you can customize your Google homepage anymore to have them come right up.
Right, that's what I do. I just have different feeds set up on my homepage, and I just look and